Hey everyone, welcome to my latest classic movie and TV actor/actress of the day video today, December the 9th. Today I've chosen to do a video about Beau Bridges, an actor who I've seen a few of his movies before. I'll get into those a little bit later. Beau Bridges was born Lloyd Vernet Bridges III on December the 9th, 1941 in Los Angeles, California. So it's a happy 84th birthday to him today. He is the son of actor Lloyd Bridges and actress Dorothy Bridges. He was nicknamed Beau by his parents after Ashley Wilkes' son in Gone with the Wind. His younger brother is actor Jeff Bridges, and he has a younger sister, Lucinda. Another brother, Garrett, died in 1948 of sudden infant death syndrome. Beau has shared a close relationship with Jeff, for whom he acted as surrogate father during childhood when their father was busy with work. He and his siblings were raised in the Holmby Hills section of Los Angeles. Wanting to become a basketball star, he played in his freshman year at the University of California, Los Angeles, otherwise known as UCLA, under legendary coach John Wooden, where he joined Sigma Alpha Epsilon. He later transferred to the University of Houston, playing under coach Guy V. Lewis. In 1959, he enlisted in the United States Coast Guard Reserve and served for 8 years. In 1948, Bridges had an uncredited juvenile role in Force of Evil, a film noir starring John Garfield and Beatrice Pearson, and directed by Abraham Polanski, and a role as Bertram in No Minor Vices, a comedy directed by Louis Milestone, starring Dana Andrews, Lily Palmer, and Louis Jourdan. In 1949, he played a third juvenile role in the film The Red Pony, a drama again directed by Milestone and starring Myrna Loy, Robert Mitchum, one of my favorite actors, and Lewis Calhern. In the 1962-1963 television season, Bridges, along with his younger brother Jeff, appeared on their father's television show, CBS anthology series The Lloyd Bridges Show, which was produced by Aaron Spelling. He appeared in other television series too, including National Velvet, The Fugitive starring David Jansen, Combat, Gunsmoke starring James Arness, Bonanza, Mr. Novak starring James Franciscus, and The Loner, not The Lover. The Loner, created by Rod Serling a year after the cancellation of The Twilight Zone. In 1965, he guest starred as Corporal Corbett in Then Came the Mighty Hunter, Season 2, Episode 3 of the military series 12 O'Clock High. Also in 1965, he co-starred with Tommy Kirk and Johnny Crawford in Village of the Giants, a sci-fi comedy film directed by Bert I. Gordon and co-written by Gordon with H.G. Wells and Alan Caillou. In the film, Mike, played by Kirk, thinks he's hit the jackpot when his girlfriend Nancy, played by Charlotte Doherty, his girlfriend Nancy's kid brother, who they call Genius, played by Ronnie Howard, creates a growth compound that results in animals growing to huge proportions. A group of delinquents led by Fred, which was played by Beau Bridges, has come to town, and when they get their hands on the goo, as Genius calls it, their giant size makes them unstoppable. While Genius tries to recreate the formula, Mike and other teenagers in town serve the giants. Genius simply can't reproduce the formula, but fortunately comes up with the next best thing. He found steady work in television and film throughout the 1970s and 1980s. He appeared in such feature films during that time as The Landlord, a 1970 comedy drama directed by Hal Ashby, with Bridges in the lead role of privileged and ignorant white man Elgar Enders, who becomes the landlord of an inner-city tenement. The Other Side of the Mountain, a 1975 drama romance based on the true story of ski racing champion Jill Kinmont. Grease Lightning, which is the earliest of all Bridges' work that I've seen. And here's a DVD that I have with a couple of Richard Pryor films. Grease Lightning and Moving. Yep. It's one of my favorite movies, but with Richard Pryor. It was actually his first starring role in a movie. And the other movie here, Moving, is one that he was in with some more famous comedians like Dave Thomas and Dana Carvey and Randy Quaid, comic actors. Yeah, so with Richard Pryor and Grease Lightning. Grease Lightning is a biographical film also starring Richard Pryor and Pam Grier and directed by Michael Schultz. The film is based loosely on the true life story of Wendell Scott, the first black NASCAR race winner in 1963 at Jacksonville, Florida, and later a 2015 NASCAR Hall of Fame inductee. Bridges plays Hutch, a white race driver who is sympathetic to Scott's, played by Pryor, battle against racial barriers and later joins Scott's team as a mechanic. I've also seen Bridges in Norma Ray, a 1979 drama directed by Martin Ritt, starring Sally Field in the title role, a worker in a cotton mill who attempts to unionize the shop. Bridges plays Sonny Webster, a former co-worker who asks her out after causing trouble for her at the mill. Divorced with a daughter, he proposes marriage after a short courtship. Recognizing how long it has been since she met a non-selfish man with whom to keep company, she accepts his offer. A union organizer from New York City, played by Ron Liebman, makes a speech that spurs Norma Ray on to attempt to unionize her shop. This causes conflict with Sonny, who is upset she isn't spending enough time at home and is often exhausted when she is there. Liebman's character is smitten with her, and when she is put in jail for causing a disturbance at the mill, he bails her out. But in the end, when the mill is unionized, he leaves her behind, knowing that she will stay with Sonny. Bridges, also in 1979, appeared in The Fifth Musketeer, a German-Austrian film adaptation of the last of the Dumas stories that began with The Three Musketeers, directed by Ken Anakin and also starring Sylvia Christel and Ursula Andress, in which Bridges plays King Louis XIV and his twin brother, Philippe of Gascony. After this, Bridges played drag racing driver Connie Coletta in the 1983 biographical drama sports film Heart Like a Wheel, directed by Jonathan Kaplan and based on the life of drag racing driver Shirley Muldowney, played by Bonnie Bedelia. And the next year, he co-starred as Mr. Win Berry with Jodie Foster, Rob Lowe, and Nastasia Kinski in 1984's The Hotel, New Hampshire, a comedy drama directed by Tony Richardson, based on John Irving's novel about a strange family's adventures. In 1989, in perhaps his best-known role, he starred opposite his brother Jeff as one of the Fabulous Baker Boys, a romantic comedy drama musical film directed by Steve Kloves. Beau played Frank Baker, who with his brother Jack have been performing a tired act as nightclub pianists for 15 years. When they hire a sultry vocalist, played by Michelle Pfeiffer, to revitalize the routine, she inadvertently triggers long-suppressed hostility between the boys. I saw this movie one day when I was laid up after an operation, and the thing that struck me most about it was Michelle Pfeiffer. I've always been particularly impressed with lovely females in movies since I was a teenager. Speaking of lovely females, I have to go back to the late 1970s and mention one more movie that I have seen in which Bridges appeared with a lovely female co-star. This is the 1978 British television film, directed by Don Sharp, The Four Feathers, in which Bridges plays Lieutenant Harry Faversham, the latest member of a prominent military family who doesn't want to be a soldier, but feels obliged to join the army. And here is a VHS tape version of The Four Feathers, with a picture of Beau Bridges and Jane Seymour, the co-stars, on the front. Yes, sir. And they do have a VCR that I can still play this in. Imagine that. In 2025. So, Beau Bridges' character in this movie, he has met and become engaged to Ethne, played by Jane Seymour, one of my favorite actresses, and decides to resign his commission even though war is imminent. During their engagement ball on the final day of his army career, Faversham receives telegrams summoning him back to the regiment. He burns the telegrams so that he can pretend not to have been summoned back before his commission expires. Faversham is found out and is given a white feather of cowardice by 3 of his fellow army officers and Ethne. He has to prove his bravery by saving each of their lives in the war and return to Ethne, who still intends to marry him. In the 1993-94 television season, Bridges appeared with his father in the 15-episode CBS comedy western series Hearts of the West, set at a dude ranch in Nevada. In 1995, Bridges starred with his father and his son, Dylan, in The Sand Kings, the two-part pilot episode of the Showtime science fiction series The Outer Limits. In 1998, he starred as Judge Bob Gibbs in the one-season Maximum Bob on ABC. He had a recurring role in the Showtime series Beggars and Choosers in 1999 to 2000. In 2001, he guest starred as Daniel McFarland, the stepfather of Jack McFarland, played by Sean Hayes, in 2 episodes of the NBC sitcom Will and Grace. He played a single father and college professor in the fantasy adventure film Voyage of the Unicorn, directed by Philip Spink, based on the novel by James C. Christensen. From 2002 to 2003, he took on the role of Senator Tom Gage, newly appointed director of the Central Intelligence Agency, in over 30 episodes of the drama series The Agency. In January 2005, he was cast as Major General Hank Landry, the new commander of Stargate Command in Stargate SG-1. He also played the character in 5 episodes of the spin-off series Stargate Atlantis, as well as the 2 direct-to-DVD films Stargate The Ark of Truth and Stargate Continuum. In November 2005, he guest starred as Carl Hickey, the father of the title character in the hit NBC comedy My Name is Earl. Bridges' character became recurring. Bridges received a 2007 Emmy Award nomination for his performance. In 2008, Bridges co-starred in the motion picture Max Payne, directed by John Moore, with Mark Wahlberg and Mila Kunis, based on the video game character. Bridges portrayed B.B. Hensley, an ex-cop who aids Wahlberg in his quest to bring down a serial killer. The film received mixed reviews, but Bridges' participation was noted for being a positive one. It was not the first motion picture with Bridges regarding the video game world. The Wizard, directed by Todd Holland, released in 1989, had him in a role as a landscaping company owner who was later found, like his son Jimmy, played by Luke Edwards, to have a skill with NES games, Nintendo games. On February 8, 2009, Cynthia Nixon, Blair Underwood, and Bridges won a Grammy Award for Best Spoken Word Album for their recording of Al Gore's An Inconvenient Truth. In 2009, Bridges guest starred as Eli Scruggs on the 100th episode of Desperate Housewives, and received an Emmy Award nomination for his performance. In 2010, Bridges signed with Chris Malick in the production of the film Columbus Circle, directed by George Gallo. On March 19, 2010, it was announced that Bridges would play the role of Joseph Rocky Rockford, the father of Private Eye Jim Rockford, on the pilot episode of a new version of The Rockford Files, scheduled for production for broadcast in fall 2010. I remember the original Rockford Files show that I watched quite a few episodes of on TV. Not while it was still on originally, but on reruns. In 2011, he guest starred as an old boyfriend of matriarch Nora Walker on Brothers and Sisters, and as an attorney estranged from his son Jared Franklin in Franklin and Bash. Also in 2011, Bridges co-starred with George Clooney, Shailene Woodley, and Amra Miller in The Descendants, directed by Alexander Payne, playing the role of Cousin Hugh. In this movie, a land baron tries to reconnect with his 2 daughters after his wife is seriously injured in a boating accident. On January 3, 2012, Bridges took on the role of J.B. Bigley in the hit revival of the Broadway musical How to Succeed in Business Without Really Trying, taking over for John Larroquette. He was contracted to play the role until July 1, 2012. However, the revival closed on May 20, 2012. On October 3, 2013, Bridges became a major character on the CBS television show The Millers. He played Tom, the father of 2 children, son Nathan Miller, played by Will Arnett, and daughter Debbie, played by Jayma Mays. Tom, after 43 years of marriage, has gotten divorced and has moved back in with his daughter, driving her crazy. Bridges joined the series in early March 2013. Bridges has had several roles in films since then, including Underdog Kids, directed by Philip Ree in 2015, and Lawless Range, directed by Sean McGinley and starring Chris Christopherson in 2016. He has also had guest roles on the shows Masters of Sex and Code Black. In 2024, Bridges took the role of the managing partner, Howard Senior Markison, of the law firm Jacobson Moore, where alias Maddie Matlock works in the new Matlock series. It's another series I remember the original of that I watched a lot of episodes of with my family back in the late 80s and early 90s with Andy Griffith. And so that is a look at today's classic movie and TV actor, Beau Bridges. Hope you all enjoyed this little video, and I will be doing more of these in the future. But for now, that's going to end it for today, but I'll be back in a few days. Well, not back on a video in a few days, but I'll be starting up on work on another video in a few days. On the 12th, I believe it is. Yep, on Friday, I'll start working on it. Another Bee Gees song video. A song called I've Got to Get a Message to You. So, looking forward to that. Thanks to y'all for watching and listening, and I'll be back soon. Have a good day, everyone. Bye.